but the outer solar system 1,000%. Now, the data he presented in his document in 1997 only dealt between 1963 and 1991. But that's a phenomenal increase. There is something that is massively changing the density of the reality in which our planet is seated. These gamma rays beamed at the sun affect the solar cycles and have affected it quite dramatically and have affected the planets. Beautifully, the gravitational lens of the sun has worked with these gamma rays, like the gamma rays that came from Cygnus, the constellation of the Swan, in 1998, and focused them not on planet Earth, because if they would have focused on planet Earth would have become an apocalypse. The amount of energy of some of these gamma rays, if focused on a planet, would cause a cataclysmic kind of apocalypto. So there has been a beautiful symmetry in the focus of these gamma ray lasers. What is interesting is the language of geometry. As we released in our Vortexia geometrical alphabets of creation, 94, 95, the galaxy and our solar system is having an energetic semantics of geometry. Saturn, the planet Saturn, started to change in 1990. So we found astronomical articles that showed that there was a series of new white spots that appeared, and particularly one giant appeared on Saturn. And it moved from about 30 degrees in latitude to 1994 up to 19.5 degrees latitude, which is, as most of you should know, a tetrahedral vertice point. This is something that is now very, very well established thanks to the work of Richard Hoagland and the United Nations briefing back in the early 90s. So this is ABC. Everyone should be familiar with that. So you have 24 tetrahedrons appearing over the galaxy made of gamma rays as a gamma ray array, and at the same time you have the white spot of Saturn at 19.5 degrees, a tetrahedron angle. This semantic language has repeated itself. This year, a series of articles have been released on the planet Neptune. Now, Neptune, when we arrived by Neptune in 1989, was found to be mysterious because it was releasing 3 times more energy than it was receiving from the Sun. And it had the big blue spot on its surface, which also started about the 30-degree latitude and came to 19.5 degrees. So you have the same phenomena happening on Neptune. As the Hubble Space Telescope then started to document from 1995, 1996, beautiful photographs coming from the Hubble Space Telescope. Neptune was increasing in brightness, and so was Uranus. So we've been showing that over the years of the 90s onwards in different degrees. And so if you look at the Hubble Space Telescope site, you'll find the articles on this, which describes that by 2002, and it shows a comparison. It shows that between 1996 and 2002, there is a phenomenal increase in brightness and energy emission. Phenomenal, remarkable. This Neptune is just illuminating. The same with Uranus. Again, Hubble Space Telescope is one of the primary sites, but other NASA sites as well, as Astronomy Now magazine and even the Nature and Scientific American magazines. This is well established in the media and can be very well researched on the internet if you have a bit of time. So yeah, these are facts that are very important because it shows that the whole energization, the heating process of our solar system, or the temperature variations of our solar system, sometimes it gets cold and hotter, is happening because there is a energetic increase of the density of our solar system. Now, this year, it has been released just recently, in the last 1.5 months, that Saturn has in fact lost 8 minutes of radial rotation since the 1980 Voyager space missions. In 2004, the Cassini space mission, as NASA released at the time, it was their headline news, was that the radio rotation of Saturn had lost 6 minutes of time. Then the BBC, in I think it was 2006, said it was in fact 7 minutes. Now it's up to 8 minutes of radio rotation has been lost to the planet Saturn. The planet Saturn has been found to have a completely new band that was just discovered in the last few months, in fact, or it was announced therein. At the same time, the planet Venus, on July the 19th, received an anomalous, strange white spot at the 19.5 degree point of the solar system. Again, a tetrahedral point, or so-called fourth dimensional point. The oxygen that switched on in Venus in 1999, according to various different space missions, occurred at the 19.5 degree point of Venus. And on planet Earth, there have been phenomenal activities happening on those latitudes and other geometrical latitudes. You have a very clear transformation of the whole solar system, of every planet of our solar system. So global warming, global cooling, these different games that are going on in the science branches, this is not just something that's taking place on planet Earth. All of the different planets of the solar systems are going through stronger and stronger varieties and anomalies in some of their natural laws. This, you could say, is axiomatically also reflected in our own experience.
What do you mean with the own experience, with our own experience?
Well, we go through greater, what do we mean by our own experiences? We are going through greater intensities of our ancestral emotional templates, of our mental experiences. We are bombarded in every level with a program that is so strong in its program that we are bewildered or we wake up. You take, for instance, the present fad of the vaccine. Now, 19 years ago, when we were speaking about issues on the New World Order, then it was a very, very rare and strange thing to talk about. Today, of course, it's savvy, it's in vogue, and it's in vogue for a reason, and it's being used to be in vogue for a reason. Now, if you want to eliminate humanity, you don't do it through a vaccine that's poisoned. You use much more smart means. There is a program, there is a game in this, a very deliberate game. This is the game saying, yes, there are institutions, there are societies that have breastfed you. It is the illusion. Do you want always to give yourself to the illusion? Do you want to always give your own power to those who say this is how the world runs? Or is the baby going to go into childhood or into adolescence, which is the name of the game? Every illusion is deliberately, by our own ultimate design, we've all subscribed to this personally, undergoing a radical amplification. So the media is bombarding us like crazy. The medical industry is bombarding us like crazy. But our own experiences are undergoing radical transformations. The cosmic ray increased by 19% in just 6 months. It's been very well established that cosmic rays switch on many different genes and create widespread mutations through many, many species. Of course, we are looking at a genetics based on a neo-Darwinistic perspective, which in our understanding is still religious dogma and is not necessarily objective science at all. This is where most people have not yet, in most communities, integrated the new science of hadronic mechanics, still being caught on Einsteinian mechanistic sciences, relativistic sciences, or quantum mechanics, which, quite frankly, are gropings in the dark by blind men around an elephant. So there have been extraordinary scientific research and projectiles that have been gained in the fields of hadronic mechanics.